And sometimes it's okay to say no. So this morning there was an early morning exercise which I said no to because I knew I needed my sleep. I knew I wouldn't be good for the day and I wouldn't even be able to record this video if I hadn't had my adequate sleep and rest. It's okay to say no. Oftentimes we have this, what we call stress and diabetes. This is the topic of today's video. Please do give me a thumbs up, like, and carry on watching to listen to what I have to share. At the time of recording, I'm on this beautiful island of the Spanish island of Tenerife. Look at the lovely view from my bedroom. Now, what has stress and diabetes or other illnesses? How are they related? We all go through stress at different areas or different points of our lives. And it is ever so important to be mindful of how that can affect our health. And in particular, how it may contribute to us possibly getting diabetes or increasing our chances of getting diabetes or, making our diabetes condition worse. Every one of us goes through stress at different points of our life. And it is important, ever so important, to be mindful of the stress levels and how you can manage it or avoid it. Let me give you some examples. When we're stressed, we may be comfort eating. We may be eating lots of processed foods, drinking lots of sugary drinks to give us that temporary lift. However, I'm sure most of you know that these processed foods, these high sugar drinks, these energy type drinks are laden with a lot of highly processed ingredients that are not good for us in the longer term. So be mindful of how you're actually dealing with the stress. Are you comfort eating? Are you comfort drinking? Are you drinking alcohol? You may be possibly smoking or vaping to relieve that anxiety or stress. And that will actually make your health worse in the longer term. Myself included, although we are in the wellness industry as it's called, we see a lot of customers who are under a lot of stress because they've got health concerns, severe health concerns, life-changing health concerns. And when we see them, obviously we welcome them. However, we are mindful as well that there is a lot of negative energy that is happening or exchanging during the consultation. So what Ronald and I do is that after each consultation, we may find our own ways of de-stressing or reversing that negative type energy. We're not saying that the customers are bad for us. However, it's because their illnesses, their discomfort, their disease, all that energy that's in the room during consultation, we absorb it as well. So we are very mindful of how important it is for us to de-stress after the consultation. We have different ways of doing it. I could maybe have a nap, for example. I could be jumping around the room just to try to reverse the negative energy that's in the room. I could, refresh the room, or I could be watching, say, a movie or something that I like, just to relax the mind and change the energy that's in the room after the consultation. So that's what we do. For you, for example, it could be going on a holiday such as this one. Be out in a different environment so that you can also de-stress. Now, although I'm at a wellness retreat organized by a company which I am working with, I am also mindful of the things, the activities that I want to participate in. For example, there were I really just arrived yesterday. It was a long day because the moment we arrived, we had some training and some meetings that I had to attend to, and there were delays on the flights as well. And we started off really like 2 o'clock in the morning. Been up 2 o'clock in the morning, and obviously that there was activities right up to around 10 o'clock. In fact, it carried on further than that. However, I left because I was just exhausted and I just wanted to have some sleep. So what I'm trying to say is that you need to be mindful of what you're doing, and sometimes it's okay to say no. So this morning there was an early morning exercise which I said no to because I knew I needed my sleep. I knew I wouldn't be good for the day, and I wouldn't even be able to record this video if I hadn't had my adequate sleep and rest. It's okay to say no. Oftentimes we have this, what we call FOMO, fear of missing out. Have you heard of that? So we tend to want to be involved in every activity, every event, every celebration that comes along our way. At the time of this recording, we are coming towards Christmas, end of the year, and many of us have so many events to attend. And I understand that while it's fun, while it's good to meet the people you want to meet at these events, there may be even some people you don't really want to meet. So you need to learn how to say no. If it's too many activities in a day and you can't manage, that will increase your stress levels. So be mindful of saying no or learning how to say no. So for example, this morning I said no to one activity. However, I'm going to attend and enjoy the rest of the day and the activities that have been planned for us. There's a lot of free time as well, which I'm going to enjoy. I'm going to explore this beautiful island, enjoy the sunshine, soak up the sunshine as well. So with stress and diabetes, this video is all about being mindful, being able to learn to take some time out. Now, I understand going away is time consuming as well. Going and traveling can be expensive, and maybe some may not be able to manage this. However, you can also go to the park, for example. There are lots of places that are free to attend. All it needs is your time and your great mindset to actually explore these places. You don't have to spend a lot of money, and that will help you de-stress. Going for a walk, for example, meeting up with some friends. It doesn't have to be always going to restaurants to eat or buying expensive drinks. It could be inviting some people over to your place, maybe have like a potluck type gathering where everyone brings a little something to share, having a picnic, for example, and obviously organizing healthier food as well, better food choices, so that you can help yourself de-stress. It's ever so important. I'm very mindful of that as well because we lead quite hectic lives, and stress is certainly a contributor to diabetes and other illnesses. So I hope you found this video useful. Do give me a thumbs up, like, and also check out the free guides that we have. The first one is best ways to treat diabetes, and the second one is eat well, live well. We also have an Amazon #1 best-selling book, The Diabetes Solution. Do check that out. And 2 online courses, very affordable online courses, where we share many of the tips that we are constantly sharing on this channel. However, when you do get the online courses, you know that everything is in one place. You can consume it at your convenience and also go back if you want to review it again.